Tell them your security, she murmured. No eye contact, no warmth, just a quick adjustment of her jewelry before gliding ahead, leaving me trailing behind like luggage. Not a partner. Not a husband. An accessory. The embassy gala shimmered with polished deception, clinking glassware, diplomatic smiles stretched tight over hidden agendas. It was exactly the sort of environment where my wife sparkled. I followed her silently, the way she wanted, hands clasped behind my back, a shadow dressed in formal wear. She introduced herself to people I'd never met, never once acknowledging me. Laughed too brightly at the jokes of men who looked at her like she was a document worth forging. Whenever their eyes drifted in my direction, she twitched ever so slightly, as if my existence were a blemish on her glass-perfect image. Then the ambassador took the stage. Halfway through his speech, his gaze caught on me. Not on her. Not on anyone else. On me. The room quieted. A shift almost palpable. My apologies, he said into the mic. I've just realized we have a distinguished guest among us tonight. A murmur rippled across the hall. My wife went rigid. He stepped down, walked straight toward me and, in front of everyone, offered a crisp salute. Her face caved in on itself. And in that moment I knew, this night had never been hers. My wife had spent years engineering a persona, bright, ambitious, carefully curated. I, in contrast, lived simply. She took that simplicity as inferiority, repurposed me into something ornamental. A placeholder. A prop. It wasn't new. For a year I'd watched her drift away, late meetings with no explanations, hushed phone calls outside, circles I was never introduced to. Not infidelity of the body. Something colder. She was embarrassed of me. First she stopped using my last name. Then our pictures disappeared from her accounts. Then she began telling colleagues I was busy, even when I was right there. Tonight she'd erased me entirely, labeled me a hired guard. But the ambassador's reaction didn't fit her narrative. He wasn't seeing a uniform. He was seeing history, my history, something she'd never bothered to learn. I didn't confront her. She didn't deserve the leverage of my anger. I just listened on the ride home as she lectured me about posture, etiquette, blending in. Didn't even ask why the ambassador had approached me. She didn't hear his quiet parting words. You should visit more often. You're always welcome. She never listened where it mattered. In the following weeks I paid attention. Learned the private version of my wife. The one who belittled me in emails, mocked my interests, recast me as unimaginative and unimportant. He doesn't get circles like these, she wrote more than once. Ironically, I understood far more than she assumed. Then the ambassador's invitation arrived. A private meeting. Addressed only to me. I accepted. He guided me through a secure corridor and spoke of my father, of my own research, of contributions I'd made years earlier, ones my wife dismissed as time-consuming hobbies. She never read my work. Never knew I'd once been considered for diplomatic analysis roles. Never knew that I turned them down because she didn't want an uncertain move. She shrank me until I stopped standing tall. But the ambassador hadn't forgotten. He handed me a sealed document, formal, stamped, significant. A senior advisory position. Based entirely on my own merit. I breathed in steadily. I felt something return, something she had chipped away at for years. You never told her? He asked. No, I answered. He nodded knowingly. That evening I set the offer on the kitchen counter. She read it. Color drained from her face. Then fear. Then the realization of what she'd overlooked. Why didn't you tell me? She stammered. I let silence answer. It revealed more than words ever could. You could have said something, she whispered. I didn't know you. A slight tilt of my head. I wasn't your guard, I said. You were my restraint. Her knees buckled. Her breath hitched. This could change everything, she tried. Now we could. No, I cut in. Simple. Final. I already accepted. A beat. Without you. Her expression collapsed inward. Not because of my success, but because she suddenly recognized the depth of her loss. She had spent years diminishing me. Now she stood in the shadow of everything she tried to erase. I didn't yell. I didn't comfort. I didn't stay. I packed a single bag and left that night. The embassy arranged temporary housing. A new life waited, one built on my own work, my own value, untouched by her insecurities. She called. Texted. Begged. I answered none of it. Not out of cruelty. Out of clarity. She had rewritten me for years. Now she could live with the version she created, the empty space behind her. People think vindication is thunderous. It's not. It's the silence after you walk away. and the echo they finally hear is their own. She was right about only one thing. I was never meant to stand behind her. I was meant to grow beyond her.